All right, today we're going to put on our architect hats, but we're not designing a building. Nope. We are diving into the blueprint for some of the most important professional relationships out there, the retainer agreement. And trust me, it's way more than just a piece of paper. It's the whole framework that builds trust, guarantees availability, and honestly gives everyone peace of mind. So let's kick things off with a really basic question. Think about it. When the stakes are super high, how do you make absolutely sure that the expert you need, whether it's a lawyer, a top consultant, or an amazing creative, is actually going to be there for you? Not just available, but ready to jump in at a moment's notice. Well, that's the exact problem a retainer is built to solve. You know, at its core, a retainer isn't just about paying for services in advance. That's a common misconception. It's really a contractual promise to be available. See, you're not just buying someone's work, you're securing their readiness, their commitment to be there, ready to go the second you need them. And that right there, that's the foundation for the whole relationship. Okay, so to really get how this all works, we're going to break it down into 3 parts. First up, part 1, the blueprint for engagement. Because, just like any solid building, a strong professional relationship needs a really clear plan before anyone even thinks about starting the work. So this blueprint, it's basically built in 3 key steps. It all starts with the fee arrangement. You got to agree on what the expert's time and know-how is actually worth, right? Then you move to the key agreement, where you hash out the core responsibilities and what the scope of the work will be. And finally, the engagement letter. This is the big one. It takes all those conversations and negotiations and locks them into one formal, binding document that lays out the rules for the entire relationship. And you can think of that final engagement letter as, well, I love this phrase, the juridical backbone of professional commitment. I mean, how great is that? It perfectly captures it. This one document provides all the legal strength and structure, basically holding the entire relationship together and making sure everyone is protected and totally clear on what they need to do. Okay, so the blueprint is drawn up and ready to go. Now it's time to actually fund the project. This brings us to part 2, the currency of trust. And this is so important because in a retainer relationship, money isn't just, money. It's the tool you use to build commitment and turn something as abstract as confidence into a real, tangible thing. That very first payment you make, the advance or the deposit, it's so much more than just cash changing hands. It's a real, tangible sign of good faith from both sides. It's what turns a potential agreement into a real, concrete expectation. You could even call it the financial handshake that officially kicks everything off. Now, this first payment leads to a really crucial choice. Is the deposit refundable or non-refundable? A refundable deposit, that keeps things flexible. But a non-refundable one, that signals a much, much deeper level of commitment. It basically means the professional is officially carving out their time and resources just for you. It sets the priorities for the relationship right from day one. So where does this money actually go? In many cases, it goes into what's called a trust account. And this is a super important safeguard for the client. It's a completely separate account, which means your funds are never, ever mixed in with the professional's day-to-day business money. This is how they fulfill their fiduciary duty to you, and it essentially operationalizes confidence. It's a system designed from the ground up to protect you and build that foundational trust. And from that point on, the relationship settles into this healthy, repeating cycle. The professional does the work, that labor, is then translated into a clear value through billing. An invoice is sent out to create a formal record, and then payment completes the loop. This transparent cycle of work and payment is what keeps the whole partnership legitimate and moving forward. All right, so we've got the blueprint and we've got the currency, but what does the client actually get out of all this? That brings us to part 3, the promise of availability. This is really the end product, the core value of this whole setup. The real outcome of a retainer is often called the yield. But here's the thing, the yield isn't a physical report or a finished task. The yield is readiness. It's the guaranteed presence and responsiveness of an expert. You're paying for the security of knowing that when you need them, they will be there. That guaranteed availability, that is the deliverable. So what does that readiness actually look like in the real world? Well, it means you get continuous availability. It means a sustained obligation from the professional to you. You get ongoing services, a consistent professional presence, and an assurance of quality. It's all about turning a simple promise into actionable resources that you can truly count on.
And this availability can be structured in a couple of main ways, really depending on what you need. First, you have a general retainer. Think of this like having an expert on speed dial, securing their availability for pretty much whatever comes up. Then on the other hand, you have a special retainer. This one is laser focused on a specific, defined project. It's all about precision for a particular task that's separate from any general duties. Okay, so let's pull all these pieces together, the blueprint, the currency, the promise, and wrap them up into one final, really powerful idea, the zone of agreement. What a retainer really does is create a zone. You can picture it like a protected, self-contained little world just for this professional relationship. It's a contractual space with clear boundaries where all the rights, all the obligations, and all the expectations we've been talking about can come together and be protected for everyone involved. So here's the bottom line. A retainer is so much more than a contract. It's a map of meaning. Every single element, from that initial engagement letter all the way to the trust account, is designed to work together to turn an abstract idea like trust into something you can actually measure, enforce, and most importantly, build a sustainable professional partnership on. A well-designed retainer builds this incredible zone of trust and accountability. But that leaves us with one last and very important question to think about. What happens when that trust, the very foundation of this entire structure, gets broken?